is Carmen Rodriguez. I came to America legally, but my luggage held nothing more than 3 changes of clothes, a plastic container of spices from home, and an old photo of my mother beside a fire. I was once a little girl in a small town where women rose at 4 a.m. to prepare breakfast, rushed to the fields, came back at noon to cook again, and then served dinner for the whole family. The sun had set, but work never ended. Under the oil lamp, my mother and I would mend clothes, clean the house, and wash the day's dirty laundry. I was lucky enough to finish high school, something many girls where I'm from could never dream of, but it wasn't enough to land a stable office job. Then I got married to a gentle, quiet man. Life wasn't easy, but it was warm. Opportunity knocked. My husband went to America first and worked endlessly for 2 years to save enough to bring me and our children over. When I arrived, I thought the dream had begun. But the dream, it turned out, wasn't made for someone like me. I didn't speak English, had no degree. No one would hire me, and I wasn't even legally allowed to work yet. I stayed home in a cramped apartment with just one tiny window, trash lining the hallway, and rats scurrying across the ceiling at night. I questioned whether leaving my homeland had been the right choice. I could endure hardship, but what about my children? My husband reassured me, just a few more years. We'll move to a better home. The kids will go to good schools. It'll all be worth it. So I began to cook. First for my family. Then the neighbors smelled it, asked if I sold food. I barely understood them, but I nodded. We exchanged numbers on a scrap of paper, and I made my first sale. My first earned dollar. It felt like pride, like dignity. I rearranged our home, organized my tiny kitchen, and with bare hands, I kept the fire going. I made tamales, empanadas, measured spices like my mother had taught me. 1 month, 2 months, I saved every penny, bought bigger pots, bought containers and paper bags. People came back. Some brought friends. My husband didn't say much, but he knew even the smallest income helped. He worked night shifts. I sold food by day, cared for our kids, and stayed up late cooking. We never had a day off. But one day, the health department came. I was fined for selling food without a permit. I couldn't speak through tears. I didn't know even selling a few dishes required licenses. I begged to be taught. They told me I had to learn English first. So I was fined. My husband was angry at first, but later apologized. He said if I still wanted to try again, he'd help however he could. So I started night classes, 3 times a week. At 35, I sat among 15 and 20-year-olds. Immigrants like me. I learned words and how to breathe again. Eventually, I passed the food safety course, got certified, and learned fire regulations. My kitchen came back to life. 10 years later, I have a food truck painted with hibiscus flowers and a Spanish phrase, Sabor de Mamá, mother's flavor. My children are in college now. One studies medicine. One studies music. Sometimes they help wipe down the truck, pack orders, or answer online messages. Once, a customer asked, "Why don't you retire now? You've made it." I smiled, because I still want to keep the fire alive, not just to cook, but to remember my mother, my homeland, and why I started.